and he had 36 homers. You guys know me. You guys know I love to project. So you put that out for the entire year, that's 46 home runs. Coming off of broken wrists. Now let's go back and talk about that again. 64.4. Is that realistic? That's why when you do this, you have to then transpose those numbers between Pete Alonso and Matt Olson, if you're willing to jump them. Because you don't get them otherwise. Okay? Okay. The last three guys in this first 12, Manny Machado, ADP of 52.4. Matt Chapman, ADP of 50, I can't read that. 87. Matt Chapman at 87.8. And Chris Bryant at 49. That's my first 12 in the corner infield bucket. These are your starters. You want to cherry pick from these guys, like I've said a couple times now. Because all of these guys are above the bar that you've established. Let's move into these second guys. Let's talk about them holistically. So just like I said, the first 12 were third base dominated. There were 8 third basemen, just 4 first basemen, and you had your 3 multi-position players in Machado, Bryant, and Bregman. The second 12, you have 4 first basemen, you have 3 third basemen, and you have 4 multi-position players. But the important part here is picking the right grouping of these guys, because there's a ton of talent here. If you can pick if you can get 2 guys from the top 12 and then cherry pick the guys that overachieve out of this 12, you're really setting yourself up for success at the corner position. So I'll go through them quickly. Abreu, ADP 74.8. Mancini, 108.4. Moncada, 76.8. Muncy, 75.8. Bell, 79.4. Guerrero, 62.4. Jose Ramirez, 21.2. I'll come back to that in a minute, guys. It's important. Santana, 125.4. Donaldson, a 91.6. Rizzo, 55.2. McNeil, 95. And LeMahieu, 61. So I say that because it's kind of important that we're all over the board here, right? That's why when you do this, you want to do it blind. Now, I'm not saying you can't adjust when you look at it. You want to maximize your draft value. But is that a pretty solid second 12? If you pick the right of those guys, say you pick Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and he goes off this year, that's value. All of these guys in these middle rounds, right? So just some overall tidbits about this group. There's still plenty of good homers, runs, and RBIs, but they start to tail off. There's 6 30-plus homer guys. There's 4 100-plus run guys. There's 3 100-plus RBI guys. And there was 1 green stolen base, the only one of the group. And I'm telling you, you don't want them. Only of this group, only Abreu, Mancini, and Santana, along with LeMahieu, have 3 categories where they're green. So again, I'll keep saying it. Green is 30 homers plus, 100 runs plus, 100 RBIs plus, and a 280 plus batting average. That's where we've set our bar. Welcome, Kevin. Happy birthday, brother. Glad you're here, man. So, There's also some multi-eligibility things going on here. 3 players in this group play multi-positions. You got Mancini, plays first base in the outfield. You got Muncy, plays 3 different positions. First, second, third. And then McNeil and LeMahieu. So there's some versatility in this group. I'll tell you, the value in this group for me, and you see it in how I've set this, Trey Mancini at 106 ADP shows the potential. When you look at when you pull his thread, he hit 291 last year. He's hit 290 plus 2 of the last 3 years. He hit 35 homers last year. He had 106 runs, and he had 97 RBIs. I could see him easily getting into that next tier next year. And at 106.4, I think he's a real value. Moncada, 76.8. I think he's a yellow player. I don't think he goes much higher. I like his average, 315. But the 25, I don't see him going much higher than that. 83 and 79. He does give you some stolen bases. He's third in this group. Max Muncy, I'm intrigued by. He's given you consistent power. 35 homers, 251. He hurt you a little bit there, but 101 runs last year. And again, 98 RBIs. Feasibly, he could get into that next tier next year with just a little bit of help, right? That's why it's important to do this. The numbers don't lie. These guys have done this, right? Bell, I'm not real high on being a Pirates fan. I just don't think there's much protection around him. Dave's guy, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. This is the golden ticket. I mean, if you have this guy, you're kind of hoping for big things out of him. Last year, he was, quite young still, but he managed to hit 272 with 15 homers. He's certainly more capable than that. We'll see how that works out. Jose Ramirez is the one I really wanted to talk about from this grouping. And he's just too streaky for me, guys. The 24 stolen bases last year really kind of came out of necessity for me from him, in that he was just so damn bad hitting. He felt like he had to do something. And it seems to me Jose Ramirez can go for months at a time without getting a hit. And I just can't have that on my team. So I have him really low. His ADP is 21.2. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I really think, Jose Ramirez. I apologize. Dave, I don't want you to blow the top. Jose, he's just too hot and cold. He can have a great year this year, but I just don't want to bank on it. So, again, I've just positioned him this low because I'm not taking him. I'll let someone else deal with him. The 24 stolen bases is enticing, though, right? I mean, especially with the 23 homers, with the potential for more. He certainly has 40 homer potential if he puts it together. That's why I put him in his second 12. Carlos Santana has an ADP, guys, of 125.4. That's a 10th round pick out of Carlos Santana. All he did last year was hit 34 homers, green, 110 runs, green, 93 ribbies, yellow, but close, and a 281 average, green. He's the only one in this grouping who was so close to being a 4 green guy. And again, 125. This is a value. This is someone you target. Carlos Santana. Josh Donaldson at 91.6. Patrick. Anthony Rizzo at 55.2. I just think Rizzo's more of a yellow player now. I want you guys to start talking like green, yellow, red. I want you guys to take that back to work, okay? What do I mean? That Rizzo's a yellow player. Do we think at, I don't even know his age right now, 30 years old, 29 years old, whatever he is, that Rizzo's going to hit more than 30 home runs? I don't. I'm a Cubs fan, and I don't. How about he had 27 last year. He had 89 runs. Do you think he gets more than 100? David. That's premium content, brother. So do we think he had 89 runs last year, Anthony Rizzo did. Do you think he gets 100 this year? I don't. That puts him at yellow there. We're 2 for 2 with yellow. He had 94 RBIs last year. Do you think he gets to 100? Maybe. I'll give you a maybe there. And he hit 293 last year, which is a green. So at best, you're looking at a 2 green player. That's why he's in this second grouping. Dave, that's coming. So Dave asks, so if you're just listening, Lenny Melnick, FantasySports.com, there's a chat room there. Please come and join. It's really great having all my friends in here talking and discussing through this. David, that's coming from Clutch Fantasy Sports, and that's coming in my book. Unfortunately, that's a couple years away. But it's coming. So Patrick, I look at Rizzo as a yellow player. That's not a bad thing. It just kind of slots him in a certain position, right? And at 55, that's too high. We're just being realistic. Especially when you're looking at Santana 2 picks earlier with a 125 and the proven greens. Okay? So the last two in this grouping, we got a bunch to talk about. Jeff McNeil and DJ LeMahieu. Guys, in this second 12, DJ LeMahieu may damn well be the most underrated player of the group. 61.2 is his ADP. I put him at the bottom of this grouping because when you talk about him, he just doesn't fit into... Like these guys, you listen to these names, Mancini, Moncada, Muncy, Vlad, Jose Ramirez, Rizzo, Donaldson. These guys are big potential guys, right? LeMahieu just doesn't do that, but I'll tell you what he does. He's going to give you green average always. 327. 109 runs and 102 RBIs seems pretty safe in a Yankee uniform. And the 26 homers, guys, they play in a bandbox. It's feasible he can hit 30 homers. I actually like LeMahieu and his 61.2 value. I want to move on quickly. I want to talk about these third 12, but I want to get into the middles, okay? Escobar. Escobar, 109. Second and third base eligibility. Rhys